Who's Scruffy-Looking?
Hello there, all you Wookiees and Woostoids, and welcome to the Scruffy-Looking podcast, the show where we talk about all things related to that galaxy far, far away. My name's Dakota Hayden, and alongside with me is my co-host and dad, Mark Hayden Jr. How's it going, Dad?
Going well. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. It's the Christmas season, or as in the Star Wars universe, it's Life Day season.
It is.
So to celebrate, we're capping things off here with a little Star Wars festivities. Now, I don't know about you.
Yoda man.
Thank you. Now, I don't know about you, but around this time of year, I always kind of get in like the what am I trying to say? Like the Star Wars, like I get like excited for Star Warsy stuff around this time of year, but I think that's because in previous years when they would have a major movie release, it would be around Christmas time, around December time. So every time I see the snow falling, I get like into I'm like, I need to binge watch the Star Wars. Like, I need to binge watch a series or a show or something like that.
And see, that's the difference of a generation of a fan, because to me it was always May.
Yeah.
So when May comes around, that makes me kind of get, in this bigger Star Wars mood kind of. But
well, then, and now we have the, May the 4th is like that, kind of celebration for that. So I guess it kind of, plays into both. But that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So, December 3rd was the release. No, December 2nd, they moved it up. Mm-hmm. So we have, at this point of recording, watched 4 episodes now of The Skeleton Crew. Mm-hmm. Now, overall, so far, what do you think? What's your takeaway? I know we were kind of going into this series with no expectations and just kind of seeing how it plays out. So far, I think I've been having a fun time with it.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it too. I mean, I like it. It's not my favorite Star Wars thing, but it's fun to watch,
yes.
I guess. So,
yes. Yeah. It's definitely, I know a lot of people were saying, like, this has got the 80s vibe, the storytelling, and it definitely seems like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can take tropes that are played around in here and, like, link it to other popular 80s movies and shows and whatnot. So, but it's been really fun. It's been really fun. A lot of mysteries up in there, and I'm not sure how necessarily it's going to tie into, I guess, would I be bold to call anything New Republic era-esque, this stuff before the sequel trilogy, the Mandoverse era kind of thing?
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of interesting to see how that ties into the overarching story that's kind of being constructed together right now.
My out of left field way it ties in is that they, like the last episode, they end up doing another jump. They don't know where they're going, and they somehow end up in Peridia, and they're the ones
that bring
Ahsoka and Sabine back.
I could see that. That'd be a good way to tie it together, but that's definitely a kind of like, oh, that was lucky.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But I mean, you have to balance convenience with.
I think the one thing I don't want is like the last episode where they're in trouble or something, and somehow the Mandalorian is the one that saves the day. I like the Mandalorian and stuff, but that's, I don't know, too much for me. So.
Yeah, it needs to almost stay in its lane, and then like don't oversaturate it, because like, you have characters like Grogu and stuff like that just oversaturate it, where it's like at first we were very excited for him, but now it's kind of like, really?
And when those 2 X-Wings were in that 3rd episode, I was like, oh, here we go. The one was going to be Carson Teva, which I liked the character and all that stuff. And then I was kind of glad when it wasn't, because that would have kind of made things seem small. But I did like how did you notice the lower blasters on the X-Wings were, oh my goodness, not, oh my goodness. Not right. Ion. We're
ion pulse cannons, or what's the other one? Proton torpedoes?
No, the ones that like disrupt the.
Oh, isn't that ion?
Is it ion?
I think those are ion.
You're right. Okay, I was
blasters?
thinking something else. Okay,
yeah.
But did you notice the bottom ones on the wings were different?
No,
the guns were the blasters were different. They were ion blasters instead of.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's cool. That kind of shows how either they're improving upon the X-Wing design as they're adapting them into the New Republic, or it's just the X-Wing's versatile, which I would assume that would be the case, because if you got quad blasters, surely you can swap out two and have diversity and stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to turn in my fan card of brain freeze there. I got confused in what I was thinking.
There's so many weapons to think about, but I'm 95% certain
because they fire the ion cannon on Hoth and it hits
Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we have Star Wars veteran cards. I think we can play that. And be like, there's so much knowledge to have that we can't forget a blip here and there.
It's been a long week.
So obviously, big mystery. We're trying to figure out what the planet, and also I wanted to make sure to mention this. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't caught up on the Skeleton Crew yet, episodes 1 through 4. Anything past that?
Oh, yep.
I'm hoping that I have this episode out before the next episode. We'll see. But spoilers for episodes 1 through 4. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a fun watch. But from here on out, you have been warned. So the big mystery we're trying to figure out is what or where or how or what's the significance between their home planet of Atten. And from the 4th episode, it seems like there is a whole menagerie of different somethings. So I'm guessing it's just a collection of planets for a particular purpose, because the scenery on the planet that they ended up at, it started with an A, but I can't think of...
Aeron or something like that? Aeron or something?
Yeah, something like that. Their planet mimicked what Atten was, but it was in like a dystopia destroyed. There was like a huge Civil War battle thing going on. So I'm very curious to see what what the purpose of Atten is to begin with. I'm thinking it's some kind of hidden galactic like mintery, because like they made a big deal about the credits and stuff being like shiny and new and something like that. So it was like, is the big they had a name for it where all the jobs on Atten were in relation to this one thing. The Great Work, it might have been. I can't remember. I wonder if that was to continue to mint and circulate credits or monies and stuff like that. But I don't know. But it seemed to, when they were talking about, like, when we were going through their school histories and stuff like that, and as the kids were explaining just different things that they knew, it seems like Atten and its population have been secluded from the greater things happening in the galaxy, because they made mentions of places like Coruscant, Alderaan, and I'm pretty sure one of the, maybe it was Fern, one of the kids mentioned that someone said something about the Civil War, and they had no idea what they were talking about. Yeah. So obviously this planet's been secluded, and so I wonder why.
Yeah, is it kind of, wasn't there a Clone Wars episode where one of the planets had like that grid thing up so nobody could leave? You remember that?
Vaguely. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the plot was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did they think it was a god or something up there that was keeping ships from leaving or something? I can't remember. It's so long since I've seen it. So that's what it kind of reminded me, because they could see that night you could see the red dots up in the sky. That was that kid was there, and he like reprogrammed all them droids.
Was it the Iegos? The moons of the Iegos? Or something like that?
I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah. Because, there was that kid with all those reprogrammed battle droids, and every time you went out, you got hit with, some kind of electrical field. There was, a huge ship graveyard or something like that around there. Yeah, that's right.
But then the mystery is who knew it was there, who started all this. The name's just Atten, just...
Yeah, I don't know. And then, we're trying to figure out now, since that was revealed in... episode 4, that SM33, or as I like to call him, SME, because I think it sounds funny and relates with how his lettering and numbering is, how his former captain found out about the place, and what happened to him? Where is he at? Because obviously he made it to Atten, but then he crashed, and I'm guessing he's dead. So.
Yeah.
Or maybe the the skeletons that they found on that ship were his crew, because Smee did say that his captain killed all his crew and then told Smee to forget about it.
Those skulls on those skeletons made me think Weequay.
Yeah.
The way they were shaped. Yeah. So
I'm wondering, here I am with my theory again. I'm feeling like we might see Hondo.
I
think that would be awesome to see. I hope
so. I also wouldn't mind just to tie it a little bit to the sequel trilogy. You got pirates and stuff going on. It seems like we'd have like Maz Kanata. Could pop up. So that seems like somewhere along the line here. That'd be a good spot to put a little cameo with her. So
yeah, because she was dubbed the Pirate Queen. So you'd think she'd have some kind of inkling about it or something like that. Maybe one of her stashes are there. I don't know, because she had all these treasure stashes and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting what this mystery is going to be, and I think they're kind of alluding to this supervisor being some kind of mysterious individual. So I'm wondering who that's going to be and how that plays into stuff. Like, is the supervisor intentionally keeping the citizens of Atten secluded and away from everything for a particular purpose, or?
I hope it's the payoff something really cool and not something lame. You know, I can't, now thinking about it, I can imagine the supervisor being like the Wizard in the Wizard of Oz. Like he's behind this gets some little creature or something, and he's got like this big curtain. It's like, you know, pay no attention to the. But I think my part I'm enjoying most about it overall is the pirate aspect of it, and I love all the old school alien designs you're seeing. That's something that's been missing, and they missed in the sequel trilogy really bad. I know they're like, well, it's in a different part of the galaxy, but just having some of those familiar aliens and you know and stuff has been really, really cool. I've liked that. I've liked that a lot.
I'm a big fan of Brutus. Of I forget his species name, but there was a Jedi of his species that was in one of those Clone Wars. It was the original, the 2002 or 5 or whichever that one
was. That his species? Because there's in the original Star Wars, there's 2 of them in the cantina, and they're not this. One's a Snivian and one's a. I can't remember the other, because the one's got the red eyes. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so,
I don't think they might be different species.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what was his name? Volvoof. Something like that.
I'll find it and I'll throw it up there so you guys know what who we're talking about.
Yeah, I like that character from that Clone Wars. Yeah, that's cool.
But I loved his attire when we saw him at that pirate outpost, and it reminded me, I was big into playing those Assassin's Creed games back in the day, and my favorite one was a pirate-based one. I think it was Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, I think. And your main character, since you only had muskets and you can only fire one shot, he had like a rack of like 4 musket flintlock pistols that he could just pull out and start shooting. And so seeing Brutus with this whole rack of pistols just on to pull out at any time, it was really fun.
Yeah, I've liked all of them. The Gran with the one eye, with the eye patch, and then that Ishi Tib in that first episode got shot in the eye and stuff. I was like, so. The beginning of the first episode, they sure mimicked the beginning of A New Hope with the ship getting docked to and the guys scrambling with their blasters and everything. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was a fun little comparison there. Yeah. The pirate outpost, speaking of that, was a fun little place for them to go to. I thought with they had all these different environments and stuff like that, and like the bar with I don't know either of those 2 really big creatures, like the bartender, and then there was the weird looking shell head kind of like
I'm not familiar with what those species are.
But really cool to see this diversity.
That's a place like if I made a Star Wars land that you could go visit or whatever, that'd be a fun thing, like sure. little shops and stuff, with
have a random pirate fist fight out on the street. That'd be fun.
I even thought the tattoo droid was kind of cool too.
I thought that was neat.
And that dude, did you notice the dude was getting the same tattoo on his arm that Jabba the Hutt? The Hutt tattoo.
That was fun. That tattoo droid. He was one of the torture droids from
the same
Jabba's
the
palace,
same model,
yeah.
8D8, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah.
So as we saw in the first episodes, well, actually, what we saw in the trailers for Jad Nanawood, Crimson Jack, as he's also been dubbed in one of the episodes. So who knows what his actual name is at this point. You made the prediction, or the theory, that you thought he wasn't going to be some kind of Force user, he was going to be some kind of trickster. And I think we've seen that. But I know you can trigger the ship's lights to go off like you did when he was trying to play another trick on the kids. He probably timed that, but I noticed that was the last instance of it, and we never saw anything about it. So I don't know if we're going to get an explanation on whether he was a trickster and was just doing that, or if he does have some little sense of Force ability. Because, like, putting it in the timeline's perspective, he could have easily been a Padawan or something like that at the temple and just went out and been a pirate after Order 66 or whatever. I don't think that's the way they're going to do it. I think we have too many Jedi after Order 66 anyway, as is.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting tidbit. I'm like, okay, didn't really say yes or no either way, and kind of left that up to, which we might get an answer in the next episodes anyway. So.
And it seems when the beginning of the first episode, when they attacked that ship and there was nothing in the cargo hold, it seems like he got fooled awful easy to be an actual Jedi. Yeah. I'm thinking if he does have the Force, he's just someone that accidentally discovered, oh, hey, I can do this. And
yeah, I can see that. I thought for a little bit, I don't think this is the direction that they're going, but when the kids got captured in the prison block, and obviously Jad was the former captain of this pirate crew, but they mutinied him after that failed vault break-in. I thought they were using him as kind of like a plant to try and get the kids' trust to lead all the pirates to Aten. By, like, you could tell from the kids that, at least Wim, was it Wim? Yes. He was very into Jedi, so what if they were trying to use that against him by, like, okay, let's let Jad prove himself one more time to the pirate crew. Let's put him in with these kids and make them think he's a Jedi and gain their trust, so that way he can figure out where Aten is and then tell us about it. Then we can all go and pillage it. I don't think they're going to go that direction, but I thought that'd be an interesting twist. But since Brutus obviously threw out the bounty on his head and everything like that, I don't think that's the direction. But that would have been a fun, interesting little curve, So.
And speaking of, that bounty, it'd be neat to see an old school bounty hunter show up, and maybe one of the episodes could be about them trying to evade him or something.
That'd be good.
That'd be kind of cool. So I wonder what they're going to go for from now, because what we were left off with on episode 4 was they had, I guess, all these planets have this chamber that have all the coordinates to all their other, I'd say brother-sister planets, because they're all at something. But Aten's was scribbled out, so I assume either they're going to try and get it out of SM-33, because he seems to still might know where it's at, or they might be jumping to these planets to try and figure out a way back home. Do you think the name At something has something to do with the mystery? Why would they call At? It just seems like that sounds like a place where they'd build AT-AT walkers or something. Yeah. But yeah, I wonder if that At something that's how they start developing their email at. That's
their communication chain. It's like That's funny. So what do you think of the characters overall? Well, let's break it down, like the kids instantly. I think the kids have been really fun to follow along. They definitely fall in line with that 80s trope of, like, kid problem, kid issues, whatever, especially in that first couple episodes. But I've enjoyed them.
I think they're doing a good job.
My favorite one's Neil by far.
Oh, by far. That's their new Grogu. Not against child actors. That was one of my concerns, is how these kids were going to gel and stuff. And I think they do a pretty good job. So.
Yeah, I'd say so. And it's been really cool to, like, see the diversity and like their, because kids as they grow, and of course I'm finding out, like every day that when in different stages their priorities and stuff are different. So we see Fern is like probably the oldest out of the group, and she's trying to focus on being a big kid and being tough and all that, where Wim is just like, I want to chase the next thing that comes my way that's cool.
Yeah.
And Neil just wants to go home. That's been fun. And NB is, she's got her particular like skill sets that she's focused in on and just wanting to problem solve and fix and stuff. So it's been cool to see. And again, also very glad that NB's headset thing was just a headset and not one of those mods that I was worried about from the trailers.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of those mods when they in the Book of Boba Fett, which we'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, I like the kids. I think the actors and actresses that have been portraying them have been doing a really good job.
I think so too. Yeah. Since Neil seems to be becoming so beloved, they're not going to resist the chance to put where Neil and Grogu meet each other. I mean, that's going to happen somewhere, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Just
I could really
overwhelm everybody with cuteness or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong, but it seems to me like there's a little money moment, having the.
For sure, I could. That just seems like that.
You could just see all the little Neil dolls holding the Grogu and stuff.
What did you? Okay, so back to characters. I think I honestly I don't have any gripes with any of the other characters. Like Jod's been good. Jude Law's been portraying him really well. I've been enjoying the character. SM33 has been great.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I haven't paid attention to see who voices him. Have we heard him before? I almost feel like that voice is familiar, but
I honestly forget too.
But I've really enjoyed him. I thought he's got that like pirate stereotype about him.
To me, he's kind of like K2SO and Rogue One. He kind of steals the show a little bit. And maybe they should have done that with the sequel trilogy and had a droid sidekick like that.
Well, they did. They had BB-8.
I like BB-8, but maybe they needed one. I would have preferred a little droid comedy on the side than some of the comedy we got.
For sure.
Sequel trilogy.
I agree. And like that 33, he's got like firepower on him. That fight scene at that pirate outpost, like those heated shields that he used and it like torched that one guy. That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was good. Those fight scenes were really
I like him a lot. I even like when I saw the first trailers and stuff, and you saw the owl, that Kim.
Yeah,
I was worried about that too. I was like, whoa! But I even liked her. I thought.
I thought she was really cool, and that's interesting. And kind of funny that, of course, she was like an owl-like creature, and it has this whole like archives, and because owls are usually wisdom associated. But I thought it was kind of cool that she was kind of like this collector of like just knowledge of like locations and everything like that, like archival data.
Makes you wonder what else she has in there.
Exactly, like what other stuff are we missing that? Or
I tried to pay attention to see if there's like any Easter eggs or anything. So
I was trying to keep an eye out too. I didn't, not that anything I caught, but I could have. It's always worth whenever you watch something like this, when especially the scenes where there's a lot of information, to go back and watch it again and start picking it apart.
Yeah. Speaking of little Easter eggs and stuff, I like the battle droid too.
Yeah, I thought that was cool to see. I thought that was, and when he was reactivated, he's like, "Did we win?"
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
that was good. That was good. That was really good.
And the little teak creature from like the Battle of Endor, that was doing the little shuttle thing back and forth.
That was fun.
Except this one looked like he had mange or something. But that was a neat little kind of Easter egg. And then when Neil's little siblings are watching that thing, it was from the holiday special.
Well, I thought so. I thought that was so kind of a fun way to tie holiday season into there. So that was cool. That was cool. It was very fun to see a Star Wars take on kind of like a I want to say like suburban living And like, you know, you had the families watching the TV and stuff like that. The kids crowded around there, going to school and all that stuff. So it was kind of fun to see that kind of Star Wars like twist on that just trope. I mean, everyday trope.
You know, just thinking, going back to the mystery and stuff. At one point, they had to let people travel to and from those planets because you see that Thorian walking their dog. You got Neil, so there's alien species besides humans on there. So at some point there had to be some kind of import outport something. What if I'm just throwing stuff out?
Yeah, no.
What if they were prison worlds?
Ooh.
And they made, you know how like in the old days you like busted the rocks or made license plates or stuff, and that's what their job was to make the currency.
Ooh.
So what if like those kids are like the kids of the original like prisoners and stuff like that, and really
interesting.
I mean, I know the planet. It all looks nice. Doesn't look like a prison, but maybe that's the whole. To get you not to want to, you know, keep the future generations from wanting to leave.
Mm-hmm. And well, that could also play into, because in episode 4 we saw that one of the other planets, or Arcade or whatever the name of it was, they were in kind of like a civil war. So like, was that planet discovered, or did that population on there just kind of fall into that? And if they were former prisoners, if someone would have been keeping that kind of like rebellious thing going, you could easily see that turning into that.
It was funny when, I don't know what made me think of it, when I first started seeing there was the two like opposing sides on that planet in that 4th episode.
Yeah.
I thought they was going to do something goofy with it where it wasn't like really war. Like I don't know why I was thinking they seemed like paintball teams.
I was thinking,
and I was like, okay, they're going to get to a point, and this is like a phony game or something they're doing.
I was kind of thinking that too. Just something about the atmosphere of it. I was okay.
Yeah, I was like, they're going to shoot those blasters, and there's going to be like,
there'll be like stun blasters
or something. Yeah.
No, that was I was thinking the same thing. It just had the vibe about it, but. Yeah, I'd be curious to hear what happened to those planets, and like if any of these planets, if there's any one of them still active, like Aten, or if they've all kind of just fallen into disrepair and or discovered or whatever. So that'll be interesting. I thought it was funny the bus driver droid on Aten was that droid is also, I believe, at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that's something else too.
I thought that's cool.
Where'd they get the newer technology? Because some of that stuff is like newer stuff. So somebody there on that planet has to have like maybe some kind of contact with the outside world where they can bring in new technology or something. Or those other droids are really, really old, but to me that doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I wouldn't think so. And that might go into the mystery of like who the supervisor is and where they're, you know, secretly importing these kind of goods and stuff like that without anyone else knowing, and then like keeping the population ignorant.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be curious. And then like how did they miss whenever SM-33's original captain crashed on that planet? How did they miss that happen?
Yeah.
Or did they crash? They knew about it, but they had to cover it up really quick, and so they did something to
hopefully
forbid the
there's little things.
The I don't know, like the plantation overgrew over it, because honestly, it seemed like it'd been there a while. So I'm not too sure on that one. But I mean, well, depending on how nature works and on the planet of Aten, I guess maybe it didn't have to be too terribly long ago. Or again, they just covered it up, so they buried it, and then vegetation took over from there.
Yeah.
So,
or was it buried there for a reason?
Oh, so maybe, even still, maybe. Speaking of like the technology on Aten, the security droids were kind of a little funky to me. I feel like they could have done a little bit better than having their heads look like security cameras.
Yeah, that was a little,
like mall security cameras. Like I get they're security droids, so I mean you could have it that the supervisor's watching everything through those droids, and that's like, you know, putting a camera on their heads.
They should, instead of doing it that style, since it's supposed to be like a throwback to the 80s, they should have heads look like camcorders or something like that. Yeah.
That would have been funny. Yeah, interesting.
like a little Polaroid camera or something like that. That would have been.
They go to the scene and you hear.
Yeah. We saw you do this.
Like
prove it.
Data pad.
Yeah. Shake it further. There, you did that.
That'd have been funny. So I'm wondering for Jude Law's character. So the kids call him Jod. Kim called him Crimson Jack. He was known as Captain Silvo to the pirate crew. So I wonder which one of these is his actual name, or is the name Jod? All these others are just aliases,
or they're all aliases, and you don't know his real name.
Yeah, so. I'm curious to see what that's all about. Yeah, just a lot of mysteries left to be solved, and they're supposed to be.
So we're halfway through, right?
There's 8, so yeah. Which I think they could, in 4 episodes, they can cover it pretty well, and not just like have it like drag you along, then boom, you get everything in one episode like lightning fast. Which that's kind of like a, I haven't been too big of a fan in the shows that we've gotten to where you get a bunch of filler episodes, and you get one
drag on, and then boom,
you get everything.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to just like one at a time to be like, oh, okay, wow, and then like the big finale. So I don't think just how the story's going to progress and everything like that. They never had any like inklings of making this a second season or anything like that.
I think I read that they had an idea for a second season. So, but then you stop and think, because this was supposed to come out a year ago, and they delayed it. The kids are going to be so much older.
Yeah.
How do you?
That is true.
You have to address that too.
I guess a time skip, but depending on how the story's going.
Yeah, and then how the rest of the story's going in the universe. How.
Yeah, just how that blends.
The galaxy, how that's going to.
At least it won't do too much for Neil, since he's probably just special effects.
Yeah.
Oh, that character cracks me up, and like the hair on him is just it's funny.
Yeah, they did a good job designing him.
I still can't believe they didn't just make him an Orderland, because he's pretty similar. Well, okay, he is different. He is different than Max Rebo, but
I wonder if it's because Max Rebo, his eyes and everything. Of course, what the technology back there can do. He doesn't blink or anything like that. If they're like, we want somebody like that, but we can't exactly have.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe kind of why we never saw Ewoks again until that briefly at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. It's because, they were always like...
Yeah, they just did not blink.
Right, so...
Anything else striking that you can think of that we've seen so far?
I think we've about covered everything. I mean, they're doing I'm enjoying it enough, I'm curious to see where it goes and what they do. As long as the payoff is something pretty cool, not something goofy or, totally silly or anything like that.
For sure. But no, it's been a fun ride so far. I just hope it's like a solid ending.
Yeah, somehow it has to, because I think since all this takes place in the same time period and they said they were all going to be connected, I think that's the part I'm looking forward to the most. Even if it's just a little bit, how's it tied in with everything else that's going on? So
no, I agree. So I guess we'll find out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, good payout.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides Skeleton Crew, which is kind of the big highlight, and of course, in our next episode we'll cover the rest of it. Any other big news that we've heard of recently, Star Wars related? I know it's still all quiet on the front for Mandalorian and Grogu, because I haven't heard anything new, but just rumors and tidbits like that. But
then they've released some more images from Andor season 2 and stuff. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Waiting for that.
That'll be. I'm hoping they'll just be like how Andor 1 was and just be great.
Yeah.
So, and to those of you who haven't seen Andor 1, maybe you heard that it was a little bit slow. It is a little slower than what we're typically used to on Star Wars, but definitely worth the watch. Like, if you're able to just sit down and lock in and go through it, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, once it gets going pretty good. So,
yeah. So I'm hoping season 2 is a little bit more action based. Personally,
I think it'll have to. I think it'll have to be. So, especially if each 3 episodes is a year. time jump and everything, things will have to happen pretty quick. Yeah, if it's kind of a nice blend of season 1 and Rogue One blended together, that's ooh.
Yeah, that'd be
nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any new big news. I mean, it's hard to read anything Star Wars related, especially when they're like, yeah, they just green light to go for these movies when like it feels like a month later they're like, actually they took them off the list
right,
and we're not doing them anymore.
That's until I'm sitting in the theater watching it, I'll believe it when I see it. So, and I have to admit, I'm pleasantly surprised. I figured something would happen with the Mandalorian movie too, but it seems to be chugging right along. So
yeah, so that's been good. So we'll at least have a pretty good roster of stuff next year to watch. It'll be a good year for Star Wars.
Yeah,
as long as everything is good. But
yeah, I'll be curious what they announce at Celebration, because I mean, aren't we overdue for a new animated series of some sort and all that stuff? And I know what I would like it to be, but we'll see what they do with it. But yeah, so.
Which we still haven't got our invitation to Celebration, and they're in Japan, right?
Yeah.
We still haven't got our invitation, so reach out to us. Get our invitation. We'll have to.
Yeah, give the rookies a break.
Yeah, yeah.
Let the rookies win.
Yes.
But yeah, although like I said, I think I've said before, since Andor doesn't start until after Celebration, I think that's going to be their main focus. To me, that makes me feel like they don't have too much else to run with. So they're like, well, let's do it, have that start, and we can focus on have that be our main focus.
Yeah.
Well, you would think they'd have some kind of little mini trailer for the Mandalorian movie, especially since they're done filming and everything.
I would say if they wanted to do it right and kind of like build hype for it, give us the trailer that we definitely didn't watch, but add in some new stuff that we definitely haven't already seen before. And I think that would definitely generate a lot of hype for it. I could see them doing that, but I don't know, because aren't they? They're not done. Are they done filming?
Yeah, they're done filming.
So they're
what I read, they was done filming it. So then, was it next July or something like that? That Ahsoka season 2 starts filming, and then they're making it sound like that's the last season for that too. So, which is going to be kind of you got that movie Filoni is supposed to be doing to kind of tie everything together, and finish it off, but by the time you film that second season of Ahsoka and it comes out, that's going to be after the Mandalorian movie and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how
that gels. Which I'm interested to see what season 2 of Ahsoka has to offer. Just curious how they take that story and stuff. So I'm wondering what his plans are for that and everything.
I don't know. So I'm curious how they do all this and explain how your legacy Han, Luke, Leia, why you're not seeing them with all these big events
for sure
going on. I mean, they come up with a really good story of why they're not involved, or what like there's something else going on and this is kind of going on over here, be okay. But boy, to me, somehow you got to figure out how to have some kind of cameo by one of them. I mean, it doesn't need to be real long, but the way that technology is getting now, you got to have some kind of
some bit. So, but they can definitely explain it away really good if they do it like that. Other than like they didn't know what was going on, or that right.
Yeah, right. And in Ahsoka, I thought that was clever how they mentioned Leia and we never got to see her, but that she was aware and had 3. To me, that was a perfect little way to do something like that.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you even mentioned something like that too. It's like you can have them know about it, and like they send Chewie to help out or someone that to pilot a ship or something like that. They're like, okay, here's our presence. We're dealing with something else or whatever front that they're heavy in.
That just made me think of something I want to see. A pairing I want to see.
What's that?
Flying into combat together. I didn't even think of this before. We need Zeb and Chewbacca together. That would be awesome. That would be really cool. I got to have that now.
That'd be cool. And speaking of Zeb, like his part that he plays in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie would be interesting to see what like what role he plays. And
stuff.
Is
he just a little cameo, or is he got a bigger role in it or something? So yeah, there's definitely some exciting thing. Hopefully things work out for all of it, and it kind of gets us back to a kind of unifies everybody, like a rallying point for everybody to get back and just to enjoy Star Wars again.
Absolutely, absolutely, because that's what it's all about. Just having a bunch of fun in this galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
So that's what we want. That's what we want. Well, that's going to wrap things up for today's episode. If you liked it, be sure to show us by liking down below. And to join in on the discussion, feel free to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all of our future uploads. And also consider following us on Instagram to just keep track with us and keep on with the discussion. But until next time, may the Force be with you.